everyone. Thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about This Cursed Crown by Alexandra Overy. This is the sequel or follow-up to These Feathered Flames, and I have to honestly say, and I can't stress this enough, please reread These Feathered Flames before you pick up this book. I think that was part of the reason why I didn't enjoy this book as much as I enjoyed the first book. You know, when I think about the first book, I remember a lot of pivotal scenes in that book, which helped me for the most part. But, you know, 2 chapters into this book, I had to really open up my first book. Luckily, I had it out. I had to look at it and just kind of skim through the whole book. I think I would have been better if I had just read the first book, because the first book had a lot of world building. So this book really heavily relies on the information that's in the first book, because she doesn't do any world building in this book, which for me, I both loved and didn't like, because there's a lot of history that's going on in this book as well at the same time. And when you have the magic system that's in this book, it was a little jarring at times. The plot got a little convoluted. This new villain, he seemed to come out of nowhere, but it really does tie a lot to a lot of little bits and pieces that happen in the first book. So I'm rereading it, and I forgot that Izaveta is the one who casts a spell. Like, I knew she cast a spell, but I forgot the scope of her spell. So for me, the fact that this book relies so heavily on you remembering the first book was kind of a hindrance for me. I do like when authors trickle in, events that happen in the first book. I hate when they info dump it. I'm a picky person, hard to please, I get it. I hate when they info dump everything and recap the first book in a way that doesn't seem natural to the plot. But I do like it when the authors kind of remind you, like, hey, this happened in the first book in a really fluid manner that fits with the storytelling. Here, it didn't do any of that. She really focused on building this whole new plot, this whole new villain, tying it back to the magic system that was established in the first book. So you have to really remember what happened in that first book. What I will say, and really the saving grace for this novel, was really that characterization. The first book, again, focused on world building. It focused on building up this magic system and tying it to the folklore of the Firebird. This one focused on Izaveta and Asya. It really focused on developing their characters and bringing out their personality. And in the first book, I felt like that was lacking. I was more engaged with the story versus who the characters were. In this book, I was more engaged in the characters than in the story. Again, the story did start to feel a little convoluted at times. But in this one, you really got to see the characters shine. You really got to see them grow and develop, and you got to see that sisterly bond flourish. Admittedly, Asya did annoy me sometimes. Everything she criticized her sister for, this was me. I'm like, you're doing the exact same thing, so just shut up and trust your sister, because she knows more about the royal court politics than you do. It's like, just listen to her. Eventually she does listen to her, and, they resolve their differences, and they form a really good sisterly bond, but not without a whole lot of trial and error, I will say. And for me, that really was one of the better parts of the storytelling. Other than that, I really should have reread the first book before I read this one. I really think I did myself a disservice. I just don't always have a whole lot of time to devote to rereading books, and I really have to rely on my memory or, skimming and recapping online, which is a lot of what I did when I was reading this book. But overall, it was a really good book. I did enjoy it. For me, I really liked it. I liked the storytelling, ultimately. Well, okay. I liked the characterization, and it really was a character-driven story. The plot itself was convoluted, but for the most part, it was a good story. You know, just reread the first book. So given that, I'd have to give it a 3, soft 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to purchase the book, I will, of course, include links in the description below on where you can purchase it. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy reading, guys.